In the headlines, Senate proposed death penalty for kidnapping as terrorism offense. PDP expels Wiki, Fayoshi, and 9 others for anti-party activities. Contractors block finance ministry with coffin bearing minister's image in protests. And away from Nigeria, Sudan's humanitarian crisis deepens as famine spreads. Aid funding dries up. Hello and welcome to the News Update on Trust TV. I am Idris Baturi. Now, the Nigerian Senate has passed the second reading of a bill seeking to amend the Terrorism Act, designating kidnapping, hostage-taking, and related offenses as acts of terrorism. The proposed law prescribes the death penalty for such crimes without the option of fines or alternative sentences, an effort aimed at tackling the country's worsening security crisis and deterring kidnappers. Sponsored by Senate Leader Opeyemi Bamidele, the bill seeks to formally classify kidnapping and hostage-taking as terrorism offenses under Nigerian law. Lawmakers argue that only stiffest penalties will discourage the rising wave of abduction nationwide. Following the debate, the bill was referred to the Senate Committees on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters, Interior and National Intelligence for further legislative review. The Senate's move comes amid a surge in banditry, mass abductions and violent crimes, particularly in North Central and Northwest regions. Lawmakers say the amendment will ensure kidnapping is treated with maximum seriousness and recognized as a grave threat to national security.
Distinguished colleagues, a bill for an act to amend the Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Act to designate kidnapping, hostage-taking, and related offenses as acts of terrorism, to prescribe death penalty for such offenses without option of fine or alternative sentences, and for related matters 2025. Second reading taken. As a result of the importance of this bill is now committed to the Committees on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters, National Security and Intelligence, the Committee on Interior, and the lead committee will be the Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters, to report back to the Senate within 2 weeks.
Kano State Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf has visited communities in Tsanyawa and Shanuru local government areas following recent bandit attacks that claimed lives and left several residents abducted. Governor Abba charged security agencies in the state to ensure the safe and unconditional release of all victims kidnapped in Tsanyawa and Shanunu local government areas. The reports.
Governor Yusuf, accompanied by top security commanders and senior government officials, toured the affected communities to assess the situation and reassure residents of government's commitment to restoring peace. He condemned the attacks, describing them as strange and unacceptable.
Insecurity challenges in Kano State is something new, is something alien that has just been observed here in the state. And by the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we will do whatever it takes to nail in the bud these challenges, especially the activities of these bandits, kidnappers, and other cattle rustlers.
The governor met with families of victims to offer condolences, while community leaders urged the governor to amplify the cries of people affected. Governor Abba assured them that the state government was working closely with security agencies to rescue those still in captivity. Governor Yusuf also visited the Joint Task Force operational bases in Yankamaye, Farurua and Saure, where he commended the personnel for their dedication and urged them to sustain the momentum. Commander of 3 Brigade Nigerian Army, Brigadier General Ahmed Tukur, who welcomed the governor, informed him that the joint task force comprising of the Army, Air Force, Police, DSS, Civil Defense and Vigilante groups had been conducting daily operations in the vulnerable areas.
All the security agencies are working together to assist you, to encourage you, motivate you, and ensure also that your welfare is taken care of. I want you to remain focused.
Governor Yusuf expressed optimism that with sustained efforts and divine intervention, peace and normalcy will soon return to the affected communities. Abdulaziz Ibrahim, Trust TV News, Kano.
Now, Christopher Musa has expressed confidence that the Nigerian armed forces can tackle the country's security challenges with adequate moral and financial support. He stressed the need for a collaborative approach, including international partnerships, community engagement, and interagency coordination to combat insurgency, banditry, and other threats. The Senate confirmed his appointment as Nigeria's new Minister of Defense following a rigorous 5-hour screening by lawmakers. Musa's nomination comes as the country continues to grapple with complex security issues, including terrorism, kidnapping, and banditry.
But I want to assure Nigerians that are coming on board, having served 39 years all through my career in the armed forces, we have seen what is going on, we have understood what is going on, and we know what we need. All I'm appealing, sir, is that with your approval, once we come on stream, we're going to come back to you, sir, to show you exactly what we need for us to do better, for us to achieve success. We can win this war, but we must work together. We must get the support. Because I can tell you, not calling members, there are still a lot of gaps within the armed forces that is also mitigating against them be able to achieve success fully into what we're doing. And like I said, we need the state governors, we need everyone to be on board for us to be able to achieve that. So my assurance is, from day one, we're going to monitor and review all our activities, all the operations that we're doing. Where we have done wrong, we're going to take measures to address them. Where things need to be done, we're going to, and then we're going to come back again, sir, because there are areas that we need your support.
The 38 church worshippers earlier abducted by gunmen in Eruku, Ekiti local government area of Kwara State, have finally reunited with their families, days after Punch Online reported that government officials had delayed their release despite announcing their rescue. The victims were abducted on November 18, 2025, during a special Thanksgiving service at CAC Oke Ishagun, Eruku, an attack that left 3 people dead and 1 other injured. In a statement issued Tuesday night, the Chief Press Secretary to the Ekiti Local Government Council Chairman, Dada Sondi, confirmed that the freed worshippers were formally handed over to the Ekiti Local Government Area Chairman, Awilewa Olaole Gabriel, in Ilorin by Governor Abdurrahman Abdurazak. According to the statement, the handover marked the conclusion of a coordinated rescue operation involving both federal and state security agencies. Awilewa, while receiving the victims, expressed gratitude to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Governor Abdurazak, the National Security Advisor, and all security agencies for what he described as swift and decisive intervention. The abductees arrived in Eruku at about 6:30 p.m. on Tuesday, where jubilant relatives and community members trooped out to welcome them. Also speaking, the Owa of Eruku commended the joint rescue effort, thanking President Tinubu, Governor Abdurazak, and the security agencies for ensuring the safe return of the worshippers. The incident highlighted the rising security challenges in Kwara's border communities, particularly in Ekiti local government area, which has recorded several abductions in recent years. Now, no fewer than 19 people, including 5 students of Rivers State University, RSU, were kidnapped yesterday in separate attacks in Rivers and Imo states. The incident came on the same day as the House of Representatives urged the federal government to fish out those behind the killings of 5 policemen in a Bauchi community last week. In Rivers State, gunmen suspected to be members of a cult group abducted a last 5 RSU students in the early hours of Tuesday. The victims were taken at gunpoint from their off-campus residence in Emuaha local government area. It was learned that students living off-campus had protested last week over persistent cult attacks and harassment. They had appealed to the RSU management to relocate them to the main campus in Port Harcourt for safety. However, during a pre-convocation briefing on Monday, the Vice-Chancellor Professor Isaac Zeb Opibi ruled out closing the Emuaha campus or relocating students. He said the institutions was already addressing security concerns through engagement with community leaders, local authorities and security agencies. A student who narrowly escaped the attack said the gunmen invaded their residence around 2 a.m., shot and killed the security dog and then seized the victims. The incident came barely days after an alleged robbery attack in Rumuji, occurring just hours after the VC's assurance of improved security. Confirming the abduction, the spokesperson of the Rivers State Police Command, SP Grace Iringie Koko, described the perpetrators as cultists. Now, the PDP National Chairman Kabiru Turaki SAN has officially issued expulsion certificate to former Governor Nyesim Wike, Ayodele Fayose, and 9 others. The action is seen as a decisive step by the party to sanitize its ranks ahead of the 2027 elections. Turaki said the expulsion certificates were dispatched to the affected individuals via courier, adding that the PDP will soon release public disclaimers warning Nigerians against conducting any political or financial dealings with them in the name of the party. The expulsion was ratified at the PDP National Convention in Ibadan, Oyo State, on November 16, 2025, cited anti-party activities and acts of sabotage as the basis for the disciplinary action. The development has sparked controversy within the party, with some governors, including Ahmadu Fintiri of Adamawa and Caleb Mufwang of Plateau, openly rejecting the decision.
Certificates have been dispatched via courier to go to the 11 persons that have been expelled. This is a certificate of expulsion of His Excellency Nyesom Wike. A copy, original copy, via courier. This is the certificate of Ayodele Fayose, His Excellency. It has been sent to him also through courier. This is a proof that he has been expelled from PDP. Certificate of Distinguished Senator Samuel Anyang. It has been sent to him via courier. Next is the certificate of expulsion of Umaru Bature, Honorable Umaru Bature. It has also been sent to him via courier. They are no longer members of the People's Democratic Party. They have been expelled. You today are living witnesses of their certificate of expulsion. So we hope that members of PDP in Nigeria and diaspora will know that PDP has once again gotten rid that have been afflicting and creating problems for us in our activities.
Now, over 40,000 people living with HIV in Adamawa State are currently receiving treatment, with about 93% achieving viral suppression. New infections have also declined significantly from 2,007 cases recorded between January and October 2024 to 1,267 within the same period in 2025. These figures were disclosed as the state marked the 2025 World AIDS Day. Correspondent Dixon Swadigu reports.
In 2024, Adamawa State recorded about 400 HIV-related deaths. Despite this, the state government has continued to make remarkable progress in its HIV response through strong political commitment, community mobilization, and partner support. With the efforts of the Adamawa State Agency for Control of AIDS at SACA and collaborating partners, HIV testing and treatment services have been expanded across all the 21 local government areas. The state has also strengthened prevention of mother-to-child transmission improved coordination, and increased public awareness and service uptake.
Also experienced decline this year. Even in vertical transmission, there is a decline. Vertical transmission, that transmission between mother and child, that's a decline, and we need to maintain this gain. Therefore, we want to call on our workers to please double their efforts. As we are experiencing these cuts, there is need for us to step up to ensure that this program is sustained. We are having much support from the government and the governor of Adamawa State.
The state, however, faces several challenges affecting its HIV campaign, including insecurity, economic pressures, and supply chain disruptions that hinder service delivery and outreach. A stop walkover issued by the United States government to certain donor-supported implementing partners also temporarily halted key donor-funded HIV activities. This created operational gaps across many states, disrupted supply chains, and strained coordination at both facility and community levels.
In Adamawa State, we have made meaningful progress as well. The government has continued to support HIV testing, treatment, and prevention programs through the ASACA and the State Ministry of Health. We have strengthened partnerships with civil society and community networks, ensuring that people living with HIV receive the care and dignity they deserve.
To sustain the HIV response, we must continue to strengthen our health systems, protect vulnerable populations, especially women, children, and young people, to ensure that no one is left behind.
Despite the disruption, the state government, through ATSACA, has procured 34,000 HIV syphilis dual test kits to cushion the shortage and ensure uninterrupted HIV testing services. Gibson Adugu, Trust TV News, Yola.
The federal government has welcomed the release of 3 Nigerians wrongfully detained in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, over luggage fraud linked to criminal syndicates. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Tuggar, disclosed this in a statement issued Wednesday by his Special Assistant on Media and Communications Strategy, Al-Qasim Abdul Qadir. The released Nigerians Abdulhamid Sadiq, Mariam Abdullahi and Bahija Abdullahi were arrested in August 2025 at King Abdulaziz International Airport, Jeddah. Tuggar explained that prohibited substances had been fraudulently attached to their air ticket by a criminal syndicate at Malam Aminu Kano International Airport, Makia, without the passengers' knowledge. He said upon notification, the Consul General of Nigeria in Jeddah, Muazzam Nayaya, immediately engaged Saudi authorities and informed headquarters in Abuja. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, was also requested to support the investigations. According to the minister, the release reflects Nigeria's commitment to protecting its citizens abroad, as enshrined in the 4D doctrine of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. After thorough investigations, Saudi authorities declared the Nigerians of all wrongdoing and released them on September 14 and 15, 2025. Tuggar commended the professionalism of Saudi authorities and highlighted the key roles of the NDLEA and the Nigerian consulate in Jeddah in securing a just outcome. This is the news update on Trust TV, coming up after the break. Contractors block finance ministry with coffin bearing minister's image in protests. More news when we return. Do stay with us. Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is the news update on Trust TV. Let's take a look at our top stories again. Senate proposed death penalty for kidnapping as terrorism offense. PDP expels Wiki, Fayoshi, and 9 others for anti-party activities. Now moving on to more stories, there was drama at the Federal Ministry of Finance in Abuja on Wednesday as local contractors under the All Indigenous Contractors Association of Nigeria escalated their protest by blocking both entrances. Protest of the ministry with a coffin bearing the image of the Minister of Finance. They are demanding payment of more than 500 billion naira allegedly owed to them by the federal government. The demonstration caused a major gridlock and temporarily halted movement in and out of the ministry, marking the latest attempt by the contractors to force the government to honor what they describe as long overdue debts for completed and commissioned projects. The National Secretary of the Association, Babatunde Seun Oyeni, who led the protesters, accused the ministry of repeatedly shifting its stance, making unfulfilled promises and showing no genuine commitment to resolving the issue despite several meetings. Speaking to journalists at the ministry's gate, Oyeni said the contractors were frustrated by the government failure to release funds after numerous assurances. He explained that earlier in the year, following the intervention of the National Assembly, the contractors suspended their protests in good faith, only for the ministry to go silent again. The association also accused government officials of attempting to push the payment into the 2026 fiscal year, a move they warned the world was in their financial distress. Now, the Gombe state government has launched a new solar power initiative aimed at providing reliable electricity to healthcare facilities across the state. The project is designed to ensure that hospitals and clinics have stable power supply to improve healthcare delivery. From Gombe, Hassan Lawal Koli has more.
Governor Muhammadu Inwa Yahaya, represented by his deputy, Manasseh Daniel Jatau, highlighted the importance of the project during the official launch. The governor commended the partnership between the European Union, the federal government and the state government, assuring that his administration remains committed to ensuring that the people of Gombe fully benefit from the project.
The coming of this intervention is precisely what we have been looking for. As a seasoned scholar that is interested in health and everything to do with health, I perceive this partnership between the European Union, the federal government, and some states, among which Gombe is one, as really hitting the nail on the right spot and at the right time. Virtually all the bottlenecks in the provision of satisfactory health care in Nigeria, and indeed the other developing countries, will be addressed by this collaboration.
He added that Gombe State has already fulfilled its financial obligation to the project by paying its 30% counterpart funding, amounting to 1 billion naira. According to development partners, findings show that many health facilities in Nigeria struggle with inadequate power supply, noting that the initiative will provide over 300 kilowatt of solar power to at least 10 health facilities, with added benefit for nearby small businesses.
What is important here is to stress that this is a new model, the model that combines the public service with commercial viability and sustainability, and should be scalable. So what we start here, we would expect to grow much bigger with the participation of the private sector.
Is to help the state replicate similar microgrid projects in the future. Towards this end, we will share all technical designs and blueprints along with the sustainability model that this project is based on, so that the state can expand reliable energy solutions not only in health but also in education, water supply and other sectors.
The project manager for energy and green economy assured that the initiative will succeed, citing the commitment of all stakeholders involved. This solar initiative is part of Gombe State Government's broader effort to embrace clean, affordable and sustainable energy solutions to drive development across key sectors. Hassan Lawan Koli, Trust TV News, Gombe.
Now, away from Nigeria, Sudan is facing the world's largest humanitarian crisis, with over 14 million people displaced as disease spreads and famine takes hold. The country descended into chaos in April 2023 after a violent power struggle erupted between the Sudanese military and the Rapid Support Forces, sparking full-scale conflicts across Khartoum and several other regions. Human rights groups are calling on all parties to halt the fighting as conditions continue to deteriorate. The World Food Programme WFP Deputy Executive Director Karl Skau appealed for urgent international attention, stressing the need for a ceasefire or at least a humanitarian pause. He warned that more than 20 million people in Sudan now face severe food insecurity, with famine already unfolding in El Fasher and Kadugli in southern Kordofan. Skau described a global perfect storm of soaring needs, diminishing resources, and increasing danger for aid workers. Despite reaching more than 4 million people each month, the WFP says the scale of the crisis remains overwhelming, leaving millions still desperate for food and safety. And with that, we've come to the end of the news update on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all our media platforms and also watch us live on YouTube for more news, programs, and documentaries. I am Idris Dayebature, thanking you for being with us. Good evening.